Flosstube. It's Friday, y'all. We made it through another week. How's it going? I have the new camera set up again. There's better light today, so hopefully it won't look quite so dark. I'm still working with the white settings and the light settings and working on actually looking into the camera instead of looking at the screen. So it's fun, y'all. It's fun. I want to see what I'm doing, and I'm so used to looking at my big computer screen that it's really hard for me not to look directly at the camera's itty bitty screen. Yeah, so it's a learning experience. How are y'all? How's your week been? The last couple of days have been really busy and a little bit stressful at work. Had to pull some stuff together much quicker than I thought I was going to have to. Last minute timeline change, so that was real fun. So I'm a little bit behind on where I thought I'd be, but honestly, this whole week has been kind of weird. Excuse me. Kind of in a strange headspace from over the weekend. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so that's where we are. It's just kind of it's a weird week, but it's the weekend now. It's Easter weekend. Happy Easter if you celebrate. I'm not a big Easter person. And I do feel bad because last weekend I forgot to talk about Passover. And I'm not as familiar with, Jewish culture as I would like to be. So I don't know that you actually say happy Passover, but I hope that those of you who observe Passover, that it was a good Passover for you, that you enjoyed your Seder and all that sort of stuff. So I apologize. That was last weekend. This weekend is Easter. So happy spring equinox, because I think we just had that on the 21st of March. Yeah, so there's lots of things happening. It's spring. Everybody's observing spring things. So whatever spring thing that you observe, I hope it goes well for you, or it will go well, that sort of thing. I actually thought about dyeing some eggs this year just because I enjoy crafty things. And then I decided that there was no reason to artificially color my hard-boiled eggs, so I just didn't do it. I'm not going to hide them. We're not going to have an Easter egg hunt or anything like that. So if I seem jumpy, I feel very weird not looking at the screen. I just feel really weird. So I keep closing my eyes so that I'm just not looking at anything, and I don't know that that's helpful. So anyway, deep breath. Let's get going. So unless I ramble a lot, this is probably going to be a short floss tube. I don't have a lot to talk to you about. As far as stitching goes, because I haven't done a lot of stitching in the last couple of weeks. I hit March in the beginning. It was really very much in like a lion, out like a lamb. So I hit March at the very beginning, really, really strong, doing all the stitching, making a finish, so on and so forth. And then the last couple of weeks, because of various things, in addition to getting expo orders together and work being a little bit busier and that kind of stuff, just a lot of different things, I just haven't had as much time to stitch or the inclination to stitch as much as I would have liked. So I don't have any stitching basically to show you from this week. The only stitching I have done has been on my model stitch, which I can't show you. So I have done a teensy bit of stitching, but nothing that I can share with you. But I am going to talk about March wrap up, because the wipgo numbers for April have been called, and now it's April. It's April 2nd now. So the March numbers have been called. I have my April wipgo stuff to show you. I'm going to talk about my my March wipgo stuff and some decisions I've made and that kind of thing. I don't have any plans at the moment. At least nothing firm, nothing solid, because I'm still kind of in that place where I don't want to start new things, but there's some exciting things going on. So maybe I'll start some new stuff. We'll see how I feel in a couple weeks, because right now in April, I'm kind of like, eh. But in a couple weeks, I could be like, yeah, let's stitch all the things. Let's start all the new things. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't have any happy mail today. It's actually a really light week for mail and haul and all that sort of stuff for the cross-stitching stuff. Now, it was a huge week for yarn. So if you watched Woolly Wednesday earlier this week, you saw that it was a huge week for yarn. I received so much yarn, and y'all, I have a bit of a problem. I mean, I don't know how well you can see this, but my cube here with all my special fancy yarn, it's mostly full now. I do have a cube down here that is less full, but I'm running out of space, and I still have a lot of yarn that has not arrived yet. I may have a problem. I may have a little bit of a problem. Also, April is apparently the month of everybody putting out their yarn advents for Christmas. So, yeah, yeah. So I did go ahead and purchase my first yarn advent yesterday. I'll talk more about that on Woolly Wednesday. I'll talk more about my strategies for for yarn advents for this year too. Yeah. So anyway, so as far as cross stitching goes, I have just a teeny little bit of haul. No happy mail. I don't know that I've been watching anything interesting this week. I have been watching a couple of things. What did I watch? I did watch The Queen's Gambit, which is a limited series on Netflix about what is her name? Elizabeth Harmon, who was a chess prodigy when she was younger, and that was in the 60s. Like I think 67 was her big game in Paris against the Russian whose name escapes me right now. Anyway, it's an interesting little series. I had heard great and wondrous things about it. It had been really pumped up to me, and I won't say that it was like that it was too hyped because it was a good show. It was definitely engaging. I just don't know. I don't know that it could have lived up to the hype because I was told it was like really fantastic, and I thought it was good, but I don't know. It's worth a watch. It certainly was not a waste of time. I enjoyed the actress, whose name I don't remember, but she was also on the New Mutants movie recently. She's a very interesting actress, so it was worth a watch. And it definitely was engaging, but I don't know. It didn't blow me away as I had been led to believe it would. I've also been watching A Discovery of Witches, which is something that you can only get on AMC Plus, I guess. I signed up for a free trial, like a Roku channel was like, get a 7-day free trial, you can watch AMC Plus and a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, well, there's only 2 seasons of Discovery of Witches, so maybe I can watch that this weekend. And because I'm not signing up for another streaming service, y'all. I have too many. I have too many already. I mean, my streaming bill is getting to the point where it's almost as much as my cable bill. I need to just drop my cable. Anyway. So yeah, I've been watching A Discovery of Witches, and while it has its interesting points, I will say that it does pretty much the same thing that every other supernatural romance does ever. You know, and I get really frustrated. Like, I used to be in my teens and early 20s and stuff. I was definitely one of those girls that was all about the unrequited love and the relationships that can't happen because they're doomed from the start because they come from different worlds and they can't possibly be together because of laws and mores and all this sort of stuff. But still, despite all of that, they're still in love. And you know, I used to be really about that. I'm older now. I have a different view of romance and romantic relationships and how those things form. And when I see 2 characters who have only just barely met, drawn to each other with this magnetism that is completely inexplicable and has no basis in anything, I just kind of roll my eyes now because I'm just like, that doesn't happen. Like, relationships are built on actually talking to a human being or a creature, as the case may be. You know, there has to be more to it than, ooh, you're different and you smell funny, so I love you. Yeah, I'm not that person anymore. I used to be that person, and I am not anymore. So it's interesting to try to watch these shows where the characters just have this huge, strong, like world-bending connection for no reason, just because they lock eyes and boom, they're destined to be together. Why? My brain is just like, no, no. So, and I have trouble putting that part of my brain aside. So, because sometimes I could enjoy the fluffy stuff and it's totally cool. Like, I watch Grey's Anatomy, I watch Station 19, and all these melodramatic medical related shows where we know that the medicine is only quasi real and all this sort of stuff, and the relationships are over the top and that kind of stuff. I watch that stuff, I dig that stuff, but sometimes I can't shut off the part of my brain that is just like, no, girl, no. So anyway, so that's that. I'll still watch it, I'll still watch the show, because I do love supernatural things. I love magical powers. I love, magical creatures and, all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, the romantic, I don't have that romantic side of my brain, that like weird, not weird, but that part of my brain that longs for those kinds of relationships is just not into it anymore. So yeah, so that's what I've been watching. I feel like I watched a really good episode of something current recently, and I don't remember what it was now. Oh, Adam and I started watching The Irregulars on Netflix, which is sort of a excuse me, it's almost like Supernatural meets Sherlock Holmes. So there's this family of orphans. Excuse me, and I say family because there's like 4 or 5 of these teenage kids, and this is Victorian London. So there's 4 or 5 of these teenage kids that live together in some kind of slum. They don't have any parents. They're on their own, begging and thieving, earning money however they can. So that's why I say a family of orphans, because they're living together in their little unit. And they're actually helping John Watson and Mycroft Holmes to solve crimes. And there's some supernatural and magical stuff happening, and wackiness ensues. So the premise is really interesting. The show, in my opinion, falls a little short of really hitting the mark as far as super engaging, really grabbing you. It's interesting enough, but it's not like on the level of the Umbrella Academy. So the Umbrella Academy just like really grabs you and holds you tight, and it's like, what's going to happen? Why is this happening? What's going to, all this sort of stuff. And The Irregulars is much more predictable, I think, because I kind of feel like it's formulaic a little bit. So the episode starts, and you know that X, Y, and Z are going to happen. They're going to have to do A, B, and C to then get to the conclusion, which we kind of figure is going to be, C or D. Like it's very, you can kind of, what's going to happen. The pacing is very systematic and formulaic, and so it's not bad, but it's not great. Like it could have been fantastic, and it's just sort of okay. But just sort of okay is fine. Not everything has to be fantastic. So we did start, we're like 3 episodes into that. So I'm curious to see where that's going to go. There is a new series coming on. Since I'm talking about TV and you know how I like to ramble, there's a new series coming this month to HBO, I believe, called The Nevers, which is going to be along a similar line with Irregulars. However, what I understand is that it's still Victorian London or Victorian era. The main characters are primarily female, and there are people who have certain kinds of supernatural abilities, and they are looked down upon by other parts of society. However, these people with these abilities are actually not solving crimes, I don't think necessarily, but certainly getting rid of bad guys and things like that. They're protectors and not necessarily law enforcement, but they're basically like getting rid of the bad things that are happening. And so it looks like it's going to be really interesting. It looks like there's going to be a lot of magic and excitement and adventure. And the lead actress is actually the woman who played Jamie's sister in Outlander. So if you watch Outlander and you like, what is her name? I can't remember the character's name, but Jamie's sister. Like, if you watch Outlander, you know who Jamie's sister is. But she will be the main character in The Nevers, and I'm super excited. So, yeah. So that's what's on TV right now. I act like, oh, I'm not watching anything, but then I talk about 6 different things. So, anyway, that's where we are now. Shall we get into some cross stitch? I can't see how. Oh, we're only 14 minutes in. I didn't even go that far today. I'm a little revved up on coffee, and I'm revved up on the fact that like the drama that happened at work yesterday got resolved first thing this morning. So I'm just like, yay! So yeah, no weekend of stressing over work stuff for me. Fantastic. And Essential Spouse is working day shift all weekend, so that means I get daylight hours to do my own thing. So I'm very excited. I'm hoping I'll have lots of energy and lots of motivation to do some cross stitching this weekend. We'll see how it goes. So let's talk about wipgo. So if I think about it, and if I can remember directions, so I'll put my wipgo board right here. I have revised it slightly. I think I talked about this already last week. For the uninitiated, wipgo is basically like bingo for cross stitch. So the board is set up very similarly to a bingo board. You have 25 squares, WIPGO across the top, and then numerals on the side, and then each box is also numbered. And so Jessie Marie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff, she is the person who came up with this a couple of years ago. I just realized I'm looking at the screen and not at the camera. I don't know if it matters. Anyway, so she came up with this a couple of years ago, and my strategy is to use it to actually tackle the works in progress I have, the whips I have that I have not worked on in a while, or I feel like I just haven't gotten into enough. So basically my board, and you set up your own board. You determine what your goals are based on what's a stretch for yourself, the goals that you want to meet, and the things that you think are going to challenge you. And then every month, Jessie, the other Jessie, there's so many Jessies on Flosstube. So Jessie Marie, on the 26th or 27th of the month, depending, will pull new numbers for the next month. So she just pulled numbers, and I think it was 3 and 21 for April. I can't remember what the box numbers are, but I remember what the pieces are that I'm supposed to be working on. So I think it's 3 and 21. So yeah, so she pulled the numbers, and then the idea is that for that month, those are your wipgo goals. So you're trying to meet whatever goal you have set for yourself in those boxes. Now, once you complete the box, you win the square. If you hit your goal, you win the square. When you win squares in a row, either horizontally, vertically, diagonally, then you get a bingo and you get to reward yourself, and you decide what your rewards are. I haven't actually set any rewards for myself because a lot of it is working on the stuff is the reward. But also I have a really bad habit of just getting things whenever I feel like getting them. So I'm really bad at delayed gratification and going, okay, if I meet this goal, then I can have the thing. I'm just kind of like, I'm an adult and I have a paycheck, so I'm going to buy the things that I want. So I'm really bad at it. So I haven't set myself specific rewards, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Last month's wipgo, I can't remember what the numbers were, but I remember what my pieces were. So one of my goals, or one of my boxes, was stitch number 5, and my goal was to stitch for 5 hours. Now, I think I ended up putting in 24 hours on this piece. I know that I actually kept the timer running. I can't remember what the specific hour count was. I believe it was close to 24 hours. So not only did I blow that goal out of the water, but I also finished this piece. So this is an FO, a fully, finally, FO, finished off. Forgot what my own acronyms are. So I FO'd this piece. As you can see, I still need to finally finish it, fully finish it, finally effing finish it, FFO. And I need to take it out of the hoop. But it is done. It is stitched. It is finished. So now I need to decide how I'm going to fully finish it, whether I'm going to frame it or do something else with it. But this is stitch number 5. So that was one of my goals for the month. And I blew it out of the water. I'm very excited about that. My other goal for the month was to work on Linen and Threads 2020 Sal. And I did work on this a little bit. Excuse me. And you can see the work that I did right here at the top, just below where my fingers are, if I can get my fingers in the right position. So I did that little section. So there's that blue-purple flower type thing, and then the stem next to it in the orange and blue. So I did work on this a little bit, about an hour, I think is what I put in here. And, but I found I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't looking forward to stitching on it. It wasn't making me super, super happy. So I ended up not working on it anymore. I just worked on it for an hour. And what I decided to do, I'm not retiring this piece. So I'm not putting it away forever. or unstitching it. The cats are in the curtains. Cats in the curtains and the silver spoon. Anyway, so I'm not retiring it. I'm not going to pick it out. I'm not going to, give it away or anything like that. But I am going to put it in timeout for a while. And I'm doing that because I want to do this. I want to love this. I do love the way the colors look. I love the way that the stitching looks once it's in there, but I'm not enjoying the actual stitching. So I'm going to put it in timeout. I'm going to wait a while, pull it back out at some other point. I don't know when that will be, but I'm going to set it aside for now. And okay, I thought Loki was caught in a curtain. I thought I was going to have to rescue the cat. He's fine. So I'm going to put this in timeout. I'm going to keep the flosses with it and all that sort of stuff. You can see I've taken it off of the scroll frame because it's going to go away for a while. And because I've decided to put this in timeout, I've actually taken it off of my wipgo board. I'm not going to force myself to work on it. When I feel like working on it, I will pull it out and I will work on it. And if too much time goes by, let's say next year this time, and I still haven't touched it and I still don't have any interest in touching it, then I'll reevaluate at that point. But she's going to go in a loving place of rest while I give her a break. And I decided to replace Linen and Threads with my Long Dog Samplers Pandemic because I have been super jazzed about working on it. So I've already showed this, but since we're talking about wipgo wrap up, I will show you again. So I put about 1,000 stitches, maybe a little bit more, into Long Dog Pandemic. And I'm saying Long Dog Pandemic because there are a couple other patterns now called Pandemic. So just want to make sure you know which one I'm working on. So this is a piece of Be Stitch Me Storm 32 count Jobelin. It's my favorite fabric to stitch on. 32 count Jobelin is the bomb. So I worked a lot on this. This was the piece that I kept going back to while I was stitching this month. This was the one that I wanted to work on and the thing that I wanted to do. So I decided to swap this out for Linen and Threads. And even though most of my goals on wipgo are 500 stitches or 5 hours, I decided as a sort of quote-unquote penalty that I would make my goals on this piece 1,000 stitches when it comes up. So I did meet the 1,000 stitch goal for March, and it is on my wipgo board a second time for 1,000 stitches where the Linen and Threads other box was. So I love this piece. I love stitching on this piece. I love everything about it. It's fantastic. I can't wait to dig into this some more. So you'll be seeing this, I think, fairly frequently. I'm not going to wait until it pops up again, but we'll see how it goes. I just really enjoy it. I especially love my rainbow bird. My rainbow bird is my favorite, and there's going to be more rainbow birds. I can't wait. So yep, so that's March. So I did I beat one of my original goals, and I also beat my replacement goal. So I'm very happy about that. I'm trying not to let myself think about it as cheating because it's not really cheating. The whole thing is about setting my own goals and meeting my own goals. So if the goal doesn't work for me, there's no sense in beating myself up over not having met it, right? So, yep. So that is March wipgo. So for me, if you're counting this year, so far for 2021, I have 3 finishes. This is my 3rd finish. I don't know if I'll get a finish in April, and I'll talk about that in a second here because the stuff that popped up for April is not anything I think I can finish in April. So, so unless I start something new or go back to something that's closer to a finish, I don't know that I'll get a finish for April. Which kind of bums me out. But you can't get finishes all the time, right? But I want to finish things. I have a finish a month record so far, so I want to finish at least one thing a month. Rachel and Heike can tell you, probably sometime in January, I decided that I think I made the announcement, I'm going to finish 21 things in 2021. And Rachel and Heike, as the wonderful, brilliant, awesome friends that they are, very kindly pointed out that that might be too much of a challenge. And when I sat down and did the math, I was like, Oh, that's almost 2 pieces a month. That's finishing almost 2 pieces a month. I was like, yeah, maybe 21 and 21 is a little too many. Maybe just a little bit. But so far, I'm 3 for 3. So 12 and 21 wouldn't be so bad, right? We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to push for it. If it happens, it happens. It's great. So let's talk about April. Again, I think the boxes were 3 and 21. Excuse me. So one of those boxes, I believe this is box 3, is this Busula piece. Busula? This is Celestial Picture Pillow. This is literally my oldest whip. I have had this piece, have been working on this piece for close to 20 years. Because yeah, it's 2021 and I'm pretty sure I started this in the early 2000s. Yeah. This is an oldie, folks. So I originally bought this and started stitching it to finish it for another friend I have whose name is Rachel. So this is not Rachel Ray that you all know. This is a completely different Rachel off of the internet. So I bought this to finish for her and I started it in the early 2000s. Now, thankfully, Rachel and I are still friends. We're basically family. So yeah, we're still friends. We're still in each other's lives. So finishing this for her is still a thing. I hope to finish it well before either of us like goes on Medicaid or something, but we'll see. So yeah, this is an old Mama Jamma. I think this piece is almost as old as her daughter, and her daughter's 22. So there's that. This is what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. So you can see I have a lot to go. I have a long way to go. I don't know how easily you can see that. It's a little fuzzy. So yeah, I have a long way to go. But I've got a lot of work on it. So my goal for this is 5 hours. And I'm doing 5 hours instead of 500 stitches because this is a paper pattern. I don't have this in Pattern Keeper. I only really count stitches when I have a thing in Pattern Keeper because Pattern Keeper counts the stitches for me. I am not a fan of counting actual stitches. It makes me a little crazed. I don't know. I don't know if it's an anxiety thing or just a like too many things to do thing. I don't like counting physical stitches. I don't like counting boxes on a sheet. So this will be 5 hours is my goal. And I anticipate getting actually a lot of work done on this in 5 hours. Because this is a piece of 14 count Aida, which is just gonna fly. When you have worked on higher count stuff and then you go back to a lower count, like 14 count, it's surprising how your brain is just like boom, 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 boom. It goes so fast. So yeah, I hope to get a lot of progress on this. I'm a little surprised because as I'm looking at this, like I didn't think I was going to be excited. I thought it was going to be another Linen and Threads where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to muscle through this. But as I'm looking at it and as I'm talking about it, I'm like, yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So yeah. So that's this is, I believe, box number 3. So that is called Celestial Picture / Pillow. It's meant to be finished as a pillow, I believe, or it can be finished either way. So the big picture is the finish as a framed piece, and then they show you how it looks as a pillow as well. So we'll see how it gets finished. It needs to get stitched first. I've also decided I'm going to take it out of this hoop and I'm going to put it on one of my scroll frames. That could be, I'll probably have to get the iron out and try to get some of these wrinkles and bends and stuff out. It's really stiff Aida fabric because it came in a kit. It's one of those super old counted cross stitch kits that came with all the stuff. And the floss is not even DMC numbered. In fact, it's one of those really fun things where they're like, medium yellow is this symbol, dark yellow is this symbol, light yellow is this, and I'm like, how do I tell which one is the medium and which one is the light? Like, it's one of those kind of kits. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna take it out, put it on a scroll frame, I think. It used to be that this was like the biggest piece I'd ever had, or ever tried to work on. This comes out to 16 by 12 when it's finished. And I can guarantee you that that is not anywhere close to the largest piece that I'm working on now, because I believe that Gamer Nouveau is going to be 26 inches across. I think that's finished size, or not across, but down. 26 or 27 inches, I think, is the finished size, the length. So yeah, this is not even close. 16 inches, nothing. That's a small piece. That's a medium size. Like. So yeah, so this is one of my wipgos for April. The other wipgo for April, box 21, I think box 21, is my Peppermint Purple 2020 cell. So I had fully intended to start on Peppermint Purple's 2021 cell, but I have not yet. And you can see I didn't actually get very far. I'm hoping it's focused enough. I can't tell how focused it is. Try it like that. Anyway. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 weeks out of 52. I have a lot of work ahead of me. My goal on this piece is 4 to 5 blocks, which feels very, very manageable. So I say that, and I'm like, oh, that's manageable. I'll totally like end up doing 3 or 4 times that. We'll see. We'll see. I enjoyed the black work and the back stitching, but I kind of have to be in the mood for it. So we'll see how this one goes. I feel like 4 to 5 blocks is really achievable. I'm really hoping to get far more than 4 or 5 blocks, but we'll see. We'll see. So I'm doing this in the called for colors. And I think I actually only have, I think I only purchased like to halfway through the year. So like to week 26 or 27. So I have some DMC that I'll have to buy at some point, because I have this many colors, but there's a lot more colors that are supposed to go. So once I get about to the middle, whenever that is, I'll have to go buy some more DMC probably, or at least research my stash and see if I've got the colors I need. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it with the colors that that were originally charted for, or the colors in which it was originally charted. I'm going to keep it with those colors. And there's a couple of places where there's an opportunity to do some customizations, and I never decided originally how I was going to handle those, so I guess I'll just decide as they come up how I'm going to handle those. And as I said, I want to do the 2021 stitch along as well, the blackwork stitch along as well. But I think that I won't even start that until or unless I finish this one first. That just kind of feels more right to me. Instead of having 2 going at one time that I'm not working on, let me just finish this one, because I can download the pattern and I'll have it anytime. I don't have to do it as the stitch along is happening. So I probably will do the new stitch along, but I'm going to worry about this one first. And as you can also tell, probably, I'm actually doing the outlining as I'm going. A lot of people, I think I tried to say folks and people at the same time. A lot of folks decided or prefer to do the outlining at the beginning. I find that I would prefer to do it this way, because that way I don't run into that issue where, oops, I missed one stitch somewhere in the middle here and now all my outlining is wrong. I'd rather just outline as I go. So that's just a me thing. But yeah, so this is my second April goal. And I feel like both of those are really workable and achievable. I feel excited to work on both of those pieces, so that's a happy thing. Still not, I think, what I had hoped or expected for this month. It's really funny. So numbers get drawn, I'm like, ooh, what's gonna get pulled? And I feel like I have, in somewhere in my subconscious, is an idea of the number or the box that I want to get called, but I don't know what box that is. And then the numbers get pulled and I'm like, that's not what I wanted. But it's not like I can go in and go, oh, well, what I really wanted was this box over here, because if I knew that, I could just work on that anyway. I can work on any of my pieces anytime. The idea of whip goal is not to limit you, but to give you like an exciting structure to incentivize you to work on the things and to achieve your goals and stuff like that. It's not about limiting you. It's not about boxing you in or preventing you from working on anything. So I can work on whatever I want to work on whenever I want to work on it. But this kind of focuses me, and it helps a lot because when a piece comes up, I can go, okay, this is exciting, or no, it's not exciting. So just like with the linen and threads, like that came up and I was like, I'm not really excited about it, but I'll try. And then I was, it kind of helped me figure out that I'm not ready to give up that piece, but I'm also not really interested in working on it right now. So I kind of like that this sort of thing is happening, and that a piece comes up, and even though it's not the one that I feel like I wanted to work on, I'm still excited to work on it. So I was a little concerned after the feelings I had about linen and threads that I might be kind of losing my mojo for wipgo, and I was really sad about that because I do have a tendency to start really strong in a thing and be super excited and then kind of fall out of it after a little while. But we're now going into month 4 of wipgo, and I have 3 months of succeeding at my goals under my belt, and I feel really really optimistic and positive about going into April, and I still feel jazzed about the whole idea of wipgo. So I'm excited. I think it's going to work out. I'm hoping that I will actually go the entire year and participate every single month, even if I miss my goals sometimes. I have faith that I'll be able to stick with it enough to at least participate every single month, and that's kind of awesome because I have a hard time sticking with things. It's part of the ADHD. Things fall out of my head. I get interested in other things. It's hard to stick to structures. It's a whole lot of things. So yeah. So that's my thoughts on wipgo. If any of y'all are participating in wipgo, you're probably in the Facebook group as well. I have an album in there where I'm updating my pictures and stuff like that. I haven't posted my April stuff yet because I had to pull it out to see, to take new pictures of my progress and that kind of stuff. But I have an album there, and I am following the group. So if you're in there too, I would love to see what you're working on, what your goals are, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a fun thing. And there's a bunch of us working on it. I don't remember if Rachel is keeping up with wipgo. Her year is topsy-turvy, to say the least. So I'm not really sure what her plans are as far as that, which is funny because I was just in her video and she was talking about stuff and I literally can't remember what she said. I even just rewatched it this morning and I still can't remember. But anyway, who else? I know that Michelle G, if you follow Bendy Stitchy, she's doing wipgo. She talks about it every week. And I love seeing everybody's, what everybody else's ideas are as far as the goals that they want to commit to and that they want to achieve, and seeing how they're handling it and what works for them and all that kind of stuff. So it's really fun. It's a fun group. It's really low stress. I see a lot of times people going, oh, am I allowed to do this, or can I do that, or is it permitted to do? And the answer is absolutely yes. You can do what you want to do. Your wipgo is yours. Jessie Marie came up with the idea and it's totally her brainchild, but she's not the boss of you. She's the boss of her wipgo board, and she's the boss of drawing the numbers, and she's the boss of anything else that she plans for her stuff. But wipgo is yours. Your wipgo board is yours, and so the rules are yours, and you don't have to follow any rule unless you're participating in a sponsored sponsored contest or something like that. The battery on this thing does not last. Oh my gosh. 39 minutes and it's already flashing at me that the battery's dying. Huh. Anyway. But just like with cross stitch in general, there are really no rules except the ones that you set for yourself. So don't let yourself feel limited. Just do what feels good to you. Do what makes sense to you. No matter what it is. The only real rule about cross stitch is that you really should, when you're making your X's, you should make sure your X's go all in the same direction. It doesn't matter if you do bottom left to top right and then bottom right to top left, or vice versa, or if you do top to bottom, it doesn't matter as long as you do it the same all the way across, so that you have the same stitch in the same direction going all the way. That's the only real rule to cross stitch. Everything else is what you make it. Your goals are what you make it. The pieces you work on are what you make them. It doesn't matter. You can change a pattern, if you see a pattern and you want to do something a little bit different than what the designer did, you can do that. You can do that. Cross stitch is amazing because you can personalize everything. Everything can be tailored to exactly what works for you and what makes you happy. So remember that. I don't know why I got on that tangent. I think it's just partly because I feel bad when I see people saying, am I doing it correctly? What am I doing wrong? Can I do this? Am I allowed to do it? Yes, you are absolutely allowed to do whatever you want to do, as long as you're not hurting another person, as long as you're not, you know, well, I mean, it's like, yeah, as long as you're not hurting another person, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, there's no wrong. Just do what makes you happy. Just don't hurt other people while you're being happy. That's the general rule of life, is like, just do whatever you want as long as it's not detrimental to other human beings or other creatures for that matter. And the cats are playing. They're very excited today. They're very active. So, okay. Well, let me get to the haul portion before the battery dies, because I have one little bar, and I imagine I'm going to get about 10 more minutes of filming, and then it's going to die. I'm going to have to leave it plugged in or something. I only have 3 pieces of haul for you today, so this is going to go quickly. I have my fabric of the month from Fortnite Fabrics and my fabric of the month from Stitch Me. I also just got a slot in the Color and Cotton fabric of the month. They just opened up for Even Weave, so if you were on their wait list, you may have gotten an email. So if you're interested in that, sign up from their email. That's the only way to sign up right now, as far as I know, is through an email link. So I needed more fabric, like I need more yarn, right? But so more fabric is coming. For now, I have 3 pieces to show you. So Fortnite Fabrics, I get their expensive Rich Club, and I get an 1/8 of a yard. So these are small pieces. I keep missing the message that pops up. I think it's just saying low battery. So these are 1/8 yards, so it's roughly like 15 by 18 or something like that, smaller cuts. And I get 32 count Opal Lugana. And this month's colorway is really nice. I like it a lot. It's called 5 Star. So look how pretty. Look how pretty. So it's a nice pale springy yellow. At first I was like, oh, that's an aggressive yellow, but it's really not an aggressive yellow. It's actually a really gorgeous, not even a full-on daisy yellow. It's a little bit paler than that, but it's really, really gorgeous. So it's called the Expensive Rich Club because it's opal fabric. And I don't know that you can really see the opalescent a little bit. You can see it a little bit. But yeah, so I get the Expensive Rich, and I specifically got the opal fabric because I knew I wanted to get small cuts. And I thought this would be great for ornaments and gifts and things like that, because I like a little bit of bling when I'm making something for somebody else. And so yeah, I love, 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 love. So gorgeous. It's a beautiful color. And let's see. From Brandy this month. So these are going to be spoilers if you haven't opened your March fabric of the month yet. So I get 32 count linen in her neutral colorways, and then I get 32 count Jobelin in her standard, which sometimes is bright and sometimes is neutral. She kind of goes back and forth. So in the neutral colorway, this month is Through the Stones, and this is a gorgeous colorway. So this is 32 count linen. Beautiful. Look at that. It's sort of a pale gray blue. Gorgeous, gorgeous. It's coming off very gray on camera, I think. But I mean, I think that's true to color. I think that's true. It's hard for me to tell because I'm looking through the fabric trying to see what it looks like on screen. But it is a really nice color. She always does a fabulous job coming up with new colors and new ideas, and her names are fabulous too. So Through the Stones, I'm fairly certain, and I don't know for certain what her thinking was, but Through the Stones, I imagine, is a reference to Outlander, because anyone who follows Outlander knows that the first thing that happens is she goes through the stones and she ends up in in old time Scotland. Jacobean Jacobite Scotland. So so yeah, so that's Through the Stones, gorgeous colorway. And for the standard colorway, we have Avocado. Avocado. Doop-de-doo. Pretty. So pretty. Okay, it's saying power is less than 30%. That's what it's saying. Like, I can tell it's less than 30%. You keep telling me that. This is a gorgeous color. Very springy green. It's coming off a little paler on camera because the light's pretty bright. So it's a yellow green, which is what makes it springy, I think. But it is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And it's got a really subtle modeling that is probably not picking up on camera, but that's going to be fantastic. This might actually be a really great color for a flower cross stitch design that I'm hoping to do in May. I'll have to pull that pattern out and see. I might need to do it on a white fabric just because it's got really bright colors and I want to make sure that those colors pop, but this pale green might be just the thing too. I'll have to see. So that is it for haul. That's all I got. I don't actually have a lot of cross stitch stuff coming anytime soon. I have some. A lot of what I've been purchasing cross stitch wise is actually boxes for later this year. So what I do have coming, and I think it's already been shipped, my Mandalorian cross stitch box from Forbidden Fiber Co. is on its way. I'll be doing an unboxing of that, as well as an unboxing of the yarn box that I already have, which you can see behind my head. So that's the yarn treasure trove. The cross stitch treasure trove is on its way. And I have also purchased, I'm trying to think of what has actually been purchased versus what I plan to purchase. So the May Black Needle Society subscription box is the Rainbow Stitches subscription box. So that will be here, like I said, in May. That's the May box. I've also purchased Up All Night, which I think is actually coming out this month, so that should be shipping soon. That is a special edition Black Needle Society stitchy box. So those are both already bought and paid for and will be shipped sometime soon. I'm planning on getting the Black Needle Society's Halloween and Nice List boxes, the Trick or Treat and the Nice List boxes. Planning on getting those, have not purchased. They haven't gone on sale yet, but they do go on sale very, very soon. What I have already purchased, and they should be shipping soon, my coffee box from Stitchy Box and my cooking box, baking box from Stitchy Box. Those should both be shipping very soon. And if not already shipped, I'll have to check on those because I think at least one of those was supposed to ship yesterday or earlier this week, March 31st. So yeah, those are coming from Stitchy Box. And I've also ordered from Stitchy Box because Michelle talked about these on her channel during Flossmas and they looked fabulous. Stitchy Box also does a Halloween bash and a Christmas bash countdown box. And these are both the big Mama Jamma boxes with the luxury items and that sort of stuff. So because I could purchase them early and there's an installment option, I went ahead and got both of those. So they were spendy. They're definitely on the spendier side, but I was able to pay those in installments. So I have already purchased those and I will get those in Halloween and Christmas. And like I said, I'm also planning on buying the Trick or Treat box from Black Needle Society and the Nice List box from Black Needle Society. So Halloween and Christmas are going to be the bomb, y'all. There's going to be all kinds of stuff to open come Halloween and Christmas, but that's a long time away. In the meantime, I'll have some other stuff, but I haven't made a ton of cross stitch purchases beyond adding on new clubs because who doesn't need new fabric clubs, right? So, yep. So I think that's it. I don't have any specific stitchy plans other than working on my wipgo stuff at the moment. There is a Peruvian cat sal starting tomorrow, I believe. That is, I'm trying to remember, I know that Betty Stitchy is involved in that. I can't remember who is sponsoring that, but I know that Michelle is participating and I've been considering joining in because the pattern is super, super cute. And if I can find a picture of it and link you to it, I will. But the pattern is super cute, and I have an idea of what I would like to stitch it in. So I think that would be really fun. But again, I'm not feeling the new start, so I don't know if I'll do that right now. And yeah, I can't think of anything. Oh, there's another Barbara Anna that just started. Dreaming of Frida, or Frida Dreaming, is a new stitch along that just started yesterday, I believe. And I think it's going to be fantastic, and I'll probably buy the pattern, but I might just wait until it's finished and then buy the pattern, because I want to do it eventually. I also want to do Dreaming of Klimt by Barbara Anna, but I don't want to do them right now. Like, I want to do them eventually, but I don't want to do them right now. So, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, so that's it. But it's super early in April. We still got 4 weeks of April left, and there's going to be lots of stitching events. The Up All Night stitching event is April 30th, and then there's a 24 hours of cross stitch weekend around the 24th or so of April. And then there's going to be wipgo weekend next weekend, I think. So there's tons of stuff to go going on this month as far as stitching goes. So there's going to be all kinds of things to get involved in. So once I get my bearings on April and just kind of figure out what I'm doing stitchy wise, I will definitely let you all know about my plans. So but for now, I guess that's it for me. I need to go before this really does cut me off. I'm gonna have to figure out how I can film for an hour without it freaking out on me. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it today. I hope you have had a great week. I hope that you have great and wondrous plans for the weekend. It's been cold the last couple of days, but the weekend's going to be warmer, and I'm hoping to get tons and tons of stitching with all this great natural light. So I hope you have some great plans. I hope it's going well for you. And in the meantime, I will just remind you to stay hydrated, make sure you're drinking your water, make sure you take all your meds that you need to take, and your vitamins. Eat a meal once in a while if that's a thing for you. I know it's a thing for me. Making sure that I'm eating appropriately is difficult sometimes. So stay hydrated, eat a meal, eat some food, nourish your body, take care of your mind, and remember that good enough is good enough. And I'll see you again next time.